Welcome to Aikidoflow. Now, one of the questions that we are inundated with is Aikido just simply rubbish? Well, all I can say is we're not the people to be answering that question because we love it, but we're going to address that. We're going to pull that out and we're going to have a discussion with it because obviously some people seem to think that it still is rubbish. So we're going to have a look at that on this video. Is Aikido rubbish? Okay, well, you know what? What do you think?
Is it rubbish?
I love it. I love it.
Face. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I don't think Aikido. It really depends on what you need it for. I understand why people will say that it's rubbish, but it really depends on what you need Aikido for.
So one of the comments is that it's just airy-fairy and that just doesn't work.
I get that statement, long-winded techniques and they're all kind of floating around and all this stuff and it just doesn't look practical. And I kind of understand that because that's a way of practicing it in order to understand, you know, movement and balance and stuff like that. But there's always a street version, you know. The issue with a lot of dojos is they do not allow you the freedom to experiment. Mm-hmm. And you can play around with something and see what works best. Mm-hmm. And a lot of traditional Aikido dojos don't allow that. So I understand why people see a lot of long-winded stuff because they like to stick to the traditional way.
People are complaining, okay, that the locks and the moves are quite specific and they just don't translate into a street self-defense situation.
It depends on what kind of person you are. I'm the type of person who I would want to, if I'm in an altercation with somebody, if I get the advantage, I'd want to take an opportunity to restrain them straight away. And that would be with a lock or something like that.
I mean, in a street fight, is it realistic to be able to catch people?
And that comes back to being able to experiment with Aikido. Mm-hmm. You know, you wouldn't just try to catch someone's hand and do a lock because it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. You would have to maybe throw some kicks, an elbow or something like that, and then potentially perform a technique. You need the atemis, which is what we call the strikes and punches and stuff. So, no, yeah, it's not practical to catch someone in lock, but it is practical to use a lock once you have the advantage over somebody. If you manage to get them down to the ground or you manage to, you know, daze them, you know, that give you a couple of seconds to potentially get them in some sort of lock and end the fight. So they don't get as hurt and you don't get as hurt, rather than just punching them down to the ground.
So really what you're saying is it really depends on you and it depends what you want to use it for.
Yes, exactly. You know, I wouldn't go into an, you know, mixed martial arts fight with just Aikido as a skill. You know, you need to be able to punch and to kick to get involved with them, but don't get me wrong, even the principles of Aikido, you know, the movement, the dodging, the moving in, that would still come into play. You know, the locks would still come into play, but you need to expand on that and have other skills as well in that specific scenario. But the scenarios I've been in the security industry, Aikido has been fine for me.
Now, don't forget, okay, you can get our t-shirts, okay, hoodies, merchandise, and of course, don't forget our online training academy. Links are in the description. Okay, in conclusion, you know, you won't be surprised really to hear us say that we simply love Aikido. Okay, it's an amazing martial arts, but some of the criticisms, okay, are warranted. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's good to answer those criticisms. So, you know, we'll be actually interested to hear what you have to say. So let's continue this discussion in the comments, and let's have a talk about this. Let's hear your views on it. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and we shall see you on the next Aikido Flow video.